The ongoing obsession with Gen Z reminds me of a Grateful Dead bumper sticker from back in the day. The sticker read, "Who are the Grateful Dead, and why do they keep following me?" It's a play on those of us who used to follow the legendary band to the ends of the earth and dissect every single show and chord progression to the point of parody. Talk about needing to know. It's the same dynamic with the constant stream of articles and research studies about marketing to Gen Z. The articles leave no stone unturned. What Gen Zers like, what Gen Zers don't like, how they consume content, and on which channels, how Gen Zers want to change the world, how they don't want to change the world, how they want brands to change the world, how... you get the idea. In a weird way, it feels like the articles are following me, making sure I don't miss the latest wrinkle on what Gen Zers are up to vis-a-vis marketing and advertising. It's the same way I used to follow Jerry Garcia and company at every single turn. In fact, just as I was writing this script, a new McKinsey study dropped in my inbox titled, "What is Gen Z?" So what else is new? It may feel like overkill, but the hyper-curiosity regarding Gen Zers is understandable. By size alone, Gen Zers are now 67 million strong, or roughly a fifth of the U.S. population. To compare, Millennials, the oldest of whom are now in their early 40s, make up about 72 million people. Perhaps the sharpest distinction about Gen Z compared to past generations is that they are the first truly digital natives, reared on the ever-present internet. Even Millennials, who are just a little bit older, can remember a time before there was the internet, social media, and texting. Gen Z, not so much. But there are other distinguishing characteristics separating Gen Z from their predecessors. According to the McKinsey study, Gen Zers are more interested in belonging to an inclusive, supportive community, more individualistic, with a stronger sense of personal expression, more politically and socially active, advocating for what they believe on social media. These attitudes directly correlate to spending, with nearly 3/4 of Gen Zs reportedly trying to purchase from companies they deem ethical. That's one vital reason why companies need to avoid so-called purpose washing. If they want to appeal to younger audiences, brands need to make sure that their purpose messaging corresponds with real action and real progress. And brands should be looking for ways to woo Gen Zers, who are increasing their economic clout. According to the Gen Z Marketing Playbook, released by Ad Age, Gen Z commands a whopping $143 billion in spending power. To access those dollars, marketers need to prove that they understand Gen Z, who have grown up amid the September 11th attacks, the Great Recession from 2008, and eroding levels of trust in both government and business. Mallory Russell, VP of Content at the Web at digital payments company Square, says trust has to be the fulcrum when companies are targeting Gen Z. Russell ought to know, as Square ranked #1 in brand equity scores among companies targeting Gen Z, according to an Ad Age Harris poll released last year. Appearing on the A&A Champions of Growth podcast, Russell recommends a few best practices for those companies who want to appeal to Gen Z. Companies need to talk about how they go to market due to the privacy concerns among Gen Zers, as safety is atop their hierarchy of needs, both online and offline. To tap into the entrepreneurial spirit among many Gen Zers, it's crucial that brands provide original programming featuring practical career advice, which helps build credibility with the cohort. YouTube is their main channel of choice. The 30-second spot doesn't move the needle with Gen Zers, and marketers will almost have to shun traditional marketing tactics to get Gen Zers in tow. But no generation is a monolith, of course, and it's crucial that when brands target Gen Zers, they don't do it with a one-size-fits-all approach. Mark Beal, author of Decoding Gen Z, 101 Lessons Generation Z Will Teach Corporate America, Marketers, and Media, told the A&A that brands should create their own Gen Z incubator, in which a group of Gen Zers lead content development on behalf of the company. It's sound advice for brand managers who want to boost engagement with Gen Zers. But come to think of it, that's pretty sound advice for marketing to any generation. Keep that in mind when the marketing industry becomes obsessed with Generation Alpha, which is right behind Gen Zers. They're closer than you think. For the A&A Champions of Growth podcast, I'm Matthew Schwartz.